everyone, this is Manpreet and welcome back to my booktube channel. In today's video I'm going to share how do I find time for reading books. One of you asked me some questions about my reading habits and my reading style, and he wanted some tips about how do I read so many books. So I'm going to share those tips with you guys. First of all, I do not read that many books. I'm always lagging behind on my book reading schedule, but still I do manage to read a lot considering the amount of work I do. So if you are interested to know about those things, keep watching this video. I'm going to start with some questions he asked me about my reading habits, and they're very small questions, so I'll be done in just a minute and then we can start with the productivity tips for reading. The first question is, how many days you spend for finishing the Harry Potter book? So basically the first book I finished it in like one day, in like 4 hours, and then the second book was slow, so I took 2-3 days, and the recent book which I finished reading, I finished it in 5 days. And for the Order of Phoenix, I took like almost 15 days. The second question is, how did you manage your time? If you're talking about how did I manage my time while working and with reading, so you will get to know about that in my productivity tips. Next question is, how many hours you spend for reading books in a day? It always depends upon the kind of book I'm reading. So if it's a very good book, I can read for like 4 to 5 hours, but it definitely affects my work. Usually I try to spend at least 1 hour, reading in a day. That's it. And the last question is some productivity tips for reading books. So I'm going to tell you how can you find time for reading books, or how can you manage your time and read more books. Number one tip for that would be utilize your free time while you are traveling and while you are in bathroom. Seriously, whenever I'm traveling, I don't travel that much these days because I work from home, but when I used to travel, I always had a book with me. Even now, if I go to bank or somewhere else like that, I always take a book with me. Even to restaurants, if I'm going alone, I'll take a book with me. So that is something I always keep in my bag. A book is always in my bag, so that whenever I can find those 5 or 10 minutes, I just utilize that time, and it really works. The second thing is, whenever I am going to bathroom, I always take the book along with me. That is a habit I adopted when I used to study. So that also gives you like 15 to 20 minutes in a day. And if you're traveling, you'll have plenty of time in a day. Sorry about that much of noise. There is something some construction work happening outside. But yeah, my tip number 2 would be you should make it a part of your schedule. I give 1 hour for reading. You can give 2 hours or even half an hour for reading. So make sure that you have a specific time in your day when you have to read. So for me, that time is before I sleep. So whenever I'm gonna sleep, if I decided to sleep at 1, so I'll read for 12 to 1. So that is something which I always do, and that affects your mentality, because when you have something like work, you will do it, and if something is like okay, it's optional, so you will always tend to leave it. So don't make your reading habit as an optional habit. Make it a compulsory habit for your personality, and then you will be able to read more. Step number 3 would be read 2 books at a time. I think I have told this many times that one should read always 2 books at a time. There happens a time when you are just bored with the story, or it's too much to take in when you are reading fiction. So you're like, okay, now I don't want to read, but then you have time for reading. So what you can do is you can take up another book and read that instead. That affects a lot, because you will be reading 2 books at a time. You'll be able to finish 2 books. And you'll also be able to utilize the time even when you are not feeling in the like reading that particular story. Tip number 4 would be use less social media. So I am a social media manager by profession, and I have to use a lot of social media. I am always on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on my channels, and even on my client's channel. So that takes a lot of time, but I make sure the internet in India keeps disconnecting. So when it disconnects, I always keep a book with me, so that even if I'm having a conference call with someone, or if I'm talking to someone, so I just try to steal some time to read the books. And if I'm able to complete just 1 page in 1 hour while doing this tweaking thing, that my internet is not working or it's slow, so I can read 1 page, but it matters a lot because I am in the flow of reading. So by the end of the day, when I have that particular time for reading, I'm always very interested, very eager to read. So I make sure that that happens through this small tweaking thing I do. Hope I'm counting rightly, but my tip number 5 would be follow a lot of booktubers. So I'm not the only booktuber, maybe I'm the only booktuber in India, but there are lots of booktubers. Book Utopia, Sasha Alsberg is very good, and Katie Tastic, Little Book Owl, those people are really good, and I think when you follow those people, you get inspired to read more. So when I came across Booktube, I was like, oh my god, how can they read so much? I used to see a lot of books, their bookshelf tours, their wrap-up videos. They inspired me to read more, and I ended up reading many books after I came across Booktube. So that inspires you a lot. Basically, it's like having a book buddy. Even if you have a best friend who reads a lot, you can start discussing with that person about books you are reading. So that inspires you to read more. You are like, you get more indulged in the story, and you get more indulged in this activity. So that is the whole psychology of reading. If you have some person or something which tries to ignite the interest in you about reading, that is the best thing you can do for yourself. I watch a lot of booktube videos, and that's why even I have a booktube channel, because I wanted to read more, and having a booktube channel inspires me to read more. I think these are the 5 tips which always work for me, and you don't need anything extra for reading more books or taking out more time to read more books. I'm not trying to boast, but the kind of work I do, it never finishes. If I have just done the whole work I have set for myself in the day, I would still have more work to do. So that is something which happens with me, and if I can take more time for reading in that kind of schedule, I think you can also do that. And just try it, and stay motivated, make yourself get motivated about reading, and you will be able to read more. That's it. This is my advice, this is my productivity tips, and these are the only things which have worked for me. Trust me, I have tried a lot of other things which could have helped me in reading, but these are the things which are enough and which are actually applicable and which work. A little reading update. So if you want to know which is the book which I am reading right now, that is this Ice Princess by Camilla Lackberg. I'm already done with half of the book, and it's amazing. Let me know if you want me to do the full review of this book. It would be on my blog, but if you want me to do a video review as well, let me know. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked my tips and if you think they are going to be useful to you, comment down below, and make sure you hit like to this video, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, because I make book related videos almost once a week. Also, let me know if there are some other topics or other questions you want me to answer in my videos. I'll be happy to do that. This is Manpreet signing off.